What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 80 dose of the Talkin ATL Hawks podcast. As always, we got the most beautiful crew in the world, John Joyner, Andrew Jefferson, and myself, and we are back with another banger episode as we would continue to roll on with our offseason, even though the NBA offseason hasn't started yet because we are still in the midst of the conference finals. The Knicks yesterday completed the sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game five of Spurs and Thunder is going on right now. Series tied at 2. The Thunder was up by 9 at halftime last time I checked.
It's a 13-point lead right now. It's 71-58 Thunder.
So it looks like the Thunder might be on their way to head back to San Antonio with a 3-2 series lead. But for us Hawks fans, like I mentioned, the offseason's kind of already started. Now that we have the official draft lottery underway, we're looking forward to what the draft's going to look like for the Atlanta Hawks. Now that we know our picks, we kind of know who's hot, who's not in terms of draft players. Go watch our previous episode if you want a layout of our overall collective mock draft for this upcoming year. But for today's episode, we got a little bit of a banger up our sleeves as we continue free agency talk. But before we begin, I got to ask this beautiful crew, how are y'all doing today? How was y'all's week? What is the vibe like at the moment?
Well, my week was good. Just chill. Official first. Well, maybe. Well, yeah. Yeah. I think this is. I think this is my official first week of first week of summer. Besides the fact that I'm taking
Yeah.
summer classes.
Hey,
Um,
we had to do the same thing. I feel your pain.
I mean, we have at least all graduated. I still got a bit to go to graduate. Maybe at least all graduated though. But now, but I'm always good. Just been relaxing, enjoying my summer.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well
Going
said.
to going to going to the Dominican Republic next week. So
Ooh,
yeah,
what a
DR,
pull.
baby.
What a
DR, baby.
pull.
yep,
Just stay away from the courthouse.
courthouse.
If you know, you know.
I don't
Um,
know.
Wander Franco joke.
if you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, no, that's lit. I didn't know you were going to the DR. That's.
I
Super
thought I told
cool.
you that. Yeah, I am going to Punta Cana literally and on Monday.
Well, that's a lot cooler than where Chase and I just came from. We had a week-long vacation at the beach. It's Seagrove Beach. It's right in between Panama and Destin, but it was nice. It was super nice. The weather got a little stormy towards the end of the week, but thankfully it didn't rain too hard on us. So we were still able to enjoy our last few days there. And happy Memorial Day to everybody.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I know Memorial Day was yesterday, and most of everybody got work taken off that day. So hopefully you guys took time to appreciate all the vets and enjoy your day off of work and throw some dogs on the grill or whatever you do to celebrate. But yeah, it's been a good off season. I say that because us Hawks fans can still take pride in the fact that we are still the only team in the Eastern Conference so far in the playoffs to defeat Knicks, not just once but twice.
We deserve a banner for that. I'm just saying. If the
We
Knicks,
do.
if the
We
Knicks,
do.
I'll tell you right now, if the Knicks somehow sweep the NBA Finals, which is not going to happen, whether they play the Spurs or the Thunder, but if they do, I want to see a banner in State Farm Arena next year. I'm just saying.
Straight up.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
And if the Cavs coach gets to say that they analytically beat the New York Knicks, then I'm just going to go and say that we we beat the New York Knicks as well, or at least we gave them the motivation to crank the tractor a little bit harder because they have not been the same team since they lost Game 3 of the first round to the Atlanta Hawks. So if you really think about it, if you want to take like a microscopic step back, or that's a small step, a large step back and look at it from a deeper lens, the Atlanta Hawks are the true reason the New York Knicks have dominated their competition. because we gave him a little bit of a wake-up call. So you're welcome, New York. Speaking of, Times Square has turned to an absolute madhouse.
Yeah,
Not
thank
even
God
Times
we don't
Square,
live in New
really
York.
just all of New York, aside from the Brooklyn area. They're a little bit soft.
I always thought there was one Spider-Man, but I've seen so many Spider-Mans parade through New York City on my Instagram feed that it started to make me question my own reality. So,
I'm pretty sure I saw Spider-Man dry humping a lamppost in one of my Instagram reels. That's just what's going on in New York right now. I don't make the rules.
hey, one day, if the Atlanta Hawks get this type of excitement, we go to the NBA Finals, I wouldn't be surprised if I catch myself doing the same thing. So,
never wanted to be a lamppost more.
Yeah.
Anyways, basketball.
Yeah, basketball guys. John, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, since we talked about our week, for a little, so what we got in store today, I got a nice little star pitch cut segment that's going to dive a little deeper into our personal hopes and wish list for this upcoming free agency once it opens up in the NBA season at the conclusion of the NBA Finals. And obviously after the NBA draft. What we'll do is we're going to one by one go through one person, one player that we want to see the Atlanta Hawks go after this free agency. Now, I'm not limiting it to players who are just free agents. These could be off-season moves such as trades that you think could happen. This will open the world of possibility. And obviously, we're going to be realistic here. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks team needs, where they're hurting the most, where they need the most improvement, and who can they go after to fill that void. And then afterwards, Andrew and John are going to be competing on a little bit of a 1v1 Sporkle quiz that I got cooked up. That's going to be hosted by yours truly. So yeah, for star pitch cut,
You said we
let's
have to be
see.
realistic.
Oh yeah, keep it realistic.
Bronny James can't be my answer.
I mean, if you think Bronny James is going to be the second coming of LeBron James, then by all means. But I don't know of anyone in their right mind that thinks he's even going to lick the toenail of LeBron James. We're gonna go start. Andrew, we'll start off with you. If you want to get things rolling on this topic, remember it could be a free agent or it could be someone you think the Atlanta Hawks could trade for. But if you go for a trade, you have to go into the details of who they're going to trade and who they're going to receive. Andrew, get this ball rolling. Get us off to a hot start. Don't leave us disappointed here.
I've kind of got two of them, actually. Now, I say two of them because I think the Hawks could go out and get both of these at the same time. Now, I know unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard the rumors. You've heard Jaylen Brown's name fly out. I mean, this goes back to 2 years ago, but the noise is really loud creeping into this offseason. So I'm not going to talk. We'll talk a little bit about Jaylen Brown and how that could make sense and how that could be a potential outcome. But I'm going to stay away from that. That very well may be yours or John's pick, but I'm going a different direction. I'm going some underrated and unexpected names for the Atlanta Hawks. First one, always got big in my mind. I think the Hawks have to go out and grab a big. Now, I think we're going to do that with the second pick of the first round that we have. But I think we're also going to make a veteran move in the offseason. And I could see us going after a guy like Naz Reid from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And here's why I think that makes the most sense. So a lot of people are automatically going to connect Naz Reid to teams that have a massive cap space just obvious front court needs like the Atlanta Hawks have. But Atlanta makes, I think, the most sense for a predestination for Naz Reid because, first of all, we need to be a lot more versatile. Love Okongwu, but he's not versatile enough offensively, and we don't want to completely change our identity. So going after a guy like Hassan Whiteside, for example, would completely change the Hawks' identity. And I don't think we need to do that. And it would be very interesting because the Hawks, first of all, like I just mentioned, we desperately need more size and physicality because guys like Okongwu and Muhammad Gay and even Jot Landale, when he's healthy, they don't bring that size and physicality that we truly need. And they also don't want like for a better term, clog the floor for our guards and right wings. Because what I really like about Naz Reid and what he does for guys like Anthony Edwards and even Mike Conley when he was sticking around is Naz Reid is going to give you legitimate scoring from the front court, but still be able to stretch the floor for your guard play. And he can play the 4 and 5 spots. So even if you want to have a Kongu and Naz Reid on the floor at the same time, that can be a liable option. And I think that's
for a trade or free agency.
This is free agent. This isn't a trade. This is free agent. Because he's a free agent.
A contract, was he not?
No, I don't think so. I think he denied the team option. Let me look it up real quick.
Because I'm not seeing him on these lists.
Dang, he did sign an extension that's going to have him through 2029.
Yeah, no, because that's how we got. Because that's how we got Naw last year. Because they opted to sign Reid and not Naw.
Okay. That doesn't change.
I'm sorry to like disappoint you there, but like I just
that's okay. That doesn't change my pick actually, because that just means that it would have to be via trade and not free agent, which is fine. We do have liable options there. I guess I can go back on my names from earlier. Like for example, Jock Landale or Muhammad Gay. Now, honestly, Zachary Richese will probably have to be thrown into the mix as well, which I'm completely fine with. What that does entail, though, is I would not be surprised. Now, I do really want a guy like Naz Reid, but I don't think it's going to happen unless we give the Timberwolves one of our draft picks. I don't want to do that, but of course that does open the door for the Atlanta Hawks because we do have two first-round picks. Like I said, it's not ideal, but if we were to go after a guy like Naz Reid, I would be a little bit more okay with it. But going back to my point, he can play both the 4 and 5 spots, so you can have guys like a Kongu and Naz Reid on the floor at the same time. But it will also bring that energy that the Atlanta Hawks have lacked various of times throughout the season. If you take a look at how Naz Reid played in that series against the Denver Nuggets, unbelievable. And criminally underrated. Big backbone to the Minnesota Timberwolves wins in that series, especially if you go take a look at the games 3 and 4 when things got really physical between Nikola Jokic. Naz Reid was a big stepping stone late in the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another guy that I think would be very sneaky for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, let me double check and make sure that he is a free agent before I make any dumb move or
now remember, if he's not a free agent, you could cook up a potential realistic trade.
But I want this to be a 2-for-1 kind of deal for the Atlanta Hawks. So if we're going to have to trade for Naz Reid, I don't want to have to trade for this guy as well. Perfect. Okay, so this guy is going to be a free agent in the summer. So the other guy that I'm taking a look at that I really think the Atlanta Hawks need to go after, and hear me out on this, Tyus Jones. Now, he's a veteran. He's been around the league for a while. Our buddy who is from Minnesota, good buddy from high school, he's a big Minnesota Timberwolves fan. He is a big fan of Tyus Jones. Absolutely loves Tyus.
You have a buddy in Minnesota?
Huh?
You have a buddy from Minnesota?
Yeah, he's from
Minnesota.
He lives in Huntsville now, but his family moved from Minnesota to Georgia.
He also has
What's that?
Do you know what part?
DePaul.
Okay.
Or no, Hibbings, Minnesota is where he's from.
Yes,
which is a home of that really famous Lakers center back in the 60s. I cannot remember his name. But he also has a signed picture of Tyus Jones when he was on the Timberwolves, which is why he's a really big fan of him. So he has like a personal connection there. I think he met Tyus Jones and got that personally signed, if I'm not mistaken.
Tyus Jones was very good on teams like the Grizzlies, and the time he spent on the Chicago Bulls, he put up really good numbers coming off the bench. He was with the Nuggets this year, but his name didn't really get up there because he was dealing with a lot of injuries. So he didn't get that much time on the court with the Denver Nuggets, unfortunately. But his health has gotten better. He was very healthy towards the second half of the season. Now, I think the reason why Jones would be one of those like low key but really smart additions for the Atlanta Hawks is because he's not a flashy guy. I'm always looking for Quinn Snyder to bolster up the bench, and he takes really good care of the ball. He can run an offense very efficiently, and he's very smart. Like I said, he's been around a lot of top tier point guards during his time in the NBA, and he's produced a lot of good numbers backing them up off the bench. And basically just to stabilize the second unit. That's really going to be his only main guy there, or main reason for being in Atlanta, which is what the Hawks need, especially if we're going to get guys like CJ McCollum and Jonathan Kuminga back. We're going to need a guy to be a stabilizer for the point guard position off our bench. And that's the kind of move that I think you see a lot of winning organizations make before they become true contenders. Because take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021, before they won the NBA Finals. If you take a look at their offseason going into the 2021 season, they made a lot of moves simply just bolstering up the bench. And you can even blame the Phoenix Suns, that being the biggest reason why they didn't win that series, is because when the Bucks bench came off the court, it always outplayed the Suns bench. And you can see that in a lot of NBA Finals runs. The Denver Nuggets in 2024, same exact reason. Every time their bench met the Miami Heat's bench, it was a complete outplay. And I think that's what bit the butt a lot for the Atlanta Hawks in that New York Knicks series, is their bench was always outpacing our bench. And I think a guy like Tyus Jones is really going to help with that. And he's a cheap option. He's always going to be under the radar. But I think that if we can somehow get guys like Naz Reid and Tyus Jones, though it's not a big headline move, it's one that I think can really help the Atlanta Hawks next season. So that's my pick. I didn't want to go with one of those picks that's going to be up in the air that everybody's already talking about. I'm looking for those under the radar signings. And I think that would be fun to see. And it's not going to take the Atlanta Hawks a lot to make that happen. So it's a very realistic possibility.
All right, John, I'm going to kick it off to you next. See if you can follow that one up and see what you got cooked up if you were on Cicela for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, so I'm going to be boring here. I'm just going to have us re-sign our guys that we already got, like Jonathan Kuminga.
We need to.
CJ McCollum, and maybe not necessarily Gabe Vincent, but Jock Landale, Jonathan Kuminga, and CJ McCollum. Just resign those guys because, I was like, the problem like last year, why we weren't a top five team in the league is because of the whole Trae Young being injured for half the season and then trading him away, getting TJ and Corey Kispert back. I was like, we were like a very injured team last year for the first half of the season. So hey, we have this core that we had that dominated the second half of the season post All-Star break. If we have that team, if we have this team for a full season, no long-term injuries, without any long-term injuries, I really think that this team plus our draft picks can be a top 4 team in the East.
Definitely, because the East is still wide open.
100%.
Looking ahead to next year, the East is still wide open.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right, Joyner.
Yeah, 100%. So that's my free agency signing. I know it's very boring, but I mean, I don't really think that there's a lot of offseason moves that the Hawks really need to do. I just think that we can we should just get younger and build through the draft.
I'm doing a little bit of math here. Gonna be honest with you.
Hartenstein.
No, I want to go interesting here. I just gotta make sure it's realistic.
Chase wants LeBron James.
Fair enough.
You know what? the Atlanta Hawks don't have the greatest cap in the world. But if we hold off on re-signing some players that a lot of people think we will, we can make a lot of noise with a really big signing. Now,
Don't say it. Do not say
I,
it.
I, I know what you're thinking. I'm going to go ahead and tear down. I'm not going to say Giannis.
Trae Young.
Giannis. I'm not saying Giannis Antetokounmpo. No, I'm not saying Trae Young. But what I am saying is, Andrew, you preach about it a little bit yourself. So did you, John. The Atlanta Hawks, more than anything, need a big, and we need a defensive big with true defensive size and capabilities. Because if you look at the depth of the big man for the Atlanta Hawks in terms of their roster, I mean, we're deep. We got Oneke Kongwu, we got Muhammad Gay, and then we got Jock Landale before his injury, but I know he's now a free agent. Now, what Muhammad Gay and Oneke Kongwu have in common is they don't have enough size to be true rim protectors. They're aggressive players, and I think that's truly a reason that Oneke Kongwu and Muhammad Gay have both really upgraded their three-point and outside shooting, is because not a lot of the times are they able to get inside, especially when they're playing teams that have really good defensive bigs, cough, the New York Knicks, and you're kind of forced to go outside. Well, that's dangerous if you don't have a man big enough to protect the rim and attack the rim. Now, I'm thinking about players that are in a situation where they're on a team that this upcoming free agency, that team might not be able to re-sign it because they're going to have a pretty big cap hit. And I'm looking for a player that throughout the past couple seasons have defined themselves as one of the best rebounding, if not the best rebounding big in the NBA. That's debatable.
I think I know where this is going. Can I take a guess before you say his name?
I'll keep going, and if you want to guess, I'm gonna keep digging in a little bit.
Just let me guess before you reveal the player.
I'm thinking about a guy who's been stuck on a team for about 6 or 7 years and he's played his role really good, but he's ready to step into a much more productive role into a team where he could become his own. Now, obviously, Oneke Kongwu is going to remain our starter, but Muhammad Gay might have to take a little bit of a back seat because we're going to get this guy into a familiar role that he's playing right now on the team that he's playing for right now. But this role is going to be a little more impactful for him because he's going to be much more needed than he is on the team he's on right now. Now, he does have a little bit of an injury history, but this season alone, he has shown what he can be when he is healthy. And he's also, overcome and conquered a little bit of a mental health battle himself. If anyone knows who I'm talking about. And this mental health battle gives him the strength to build himself as a player that can take this Hawks team to the next level. Now, in order to get this man, we're going to have to make some big decisions here. And those big decisions include not re-signing C.J. McCollum and not re-signing Jock Landale. Does anyone know exactly who I'm talking about?
I was gonna say Andre Drummond, but then
that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking too.
Afterwards made no sense. So no.
I'll tell you this: the Atlanta Hawks know more than probably anyone else in the league how impactful this guy can be.
Oh crap! Yikes! Yeah, I know you're
guys.
Talking about. Is it Mitchell Robinson?
Wait.
Andrew says Mitchell Robinson. Ansi Sela, more than anybody, has the capabilities to pull the strings. Now, I know that I don't think this team's going to re-sign him, and I know he's going to be asking for a bigger contract, rightly so, but he's not going to get as big as a contract as people might think because of his injury history, which made if the Atlanta Hawks hold off on re-signing C.J. McCollum and Jock Landale, we can put all our chips on the table and conduct and construct the most perfect contract for, ladies and gentlemen, who I am saying is the best true rebounder in the league, Mitchell freaking Robinson of the New York Knicks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, could you imagine a world where the Atlanta Hawks could have a Neke Kongwu starting at center and then do the same thing the New York Knicks are doing and bring in Mitchell Robinson to have the set, give him 20 minutes a game, just like he's getting on the New York Knicks. And then you can transition both a Kongwu and Mitchell Robinson. And shoot, if you want to flirt and put a Neke Kongwu at power forward sometimes, so that way you can have him and Mitchell Robinson on the court at the same time, I think that's a work of art. And what that would do for the Atlanta Hawks, it was put them in the situation to not lose the offensive capabilities that you're getting with the Neke Kongwu, but you're also inputting a true defensive big that can protect the Atlanta Hawks when they go up against teams that have inside slayers like we faced the New York Knicks when they had Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, and we had practically no answer because there's nothing we could do. And don't think Mitchell Robinson is just a defensive big. We know what type of big he can be offensively, especially in transition. He was one of the best transition scorers in terms of bigs in the NBA, and we see that what he's showcasing right now throughout this entire postseason. How many pick and roll lobs, how many translation lobs have we seen the New York Knicks do through Mitchell Robinson? I can name at least 5 on the top of my head in the series alone against the Atlanta Hawks. Fellas, I know this might be a little bit of a stretch because he's going to be asking for a lot of money, but I do think if you counter that with his injury history, we can give him a fair contract because we have the cap space to do it. Again, we will just have to hold off on players like CJ McCollum, Jock Landale, and maybe even Jonathan Kuminga, which I would want to do and I don't think we would have to do. But I think pulling those strings, this move would be worth it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that if we sign Mitchell Robinson, I don't think that we're going to sign him to the right dimension. I think we might start him over Okongwu.
We could. And we very well could. I would hate the idea of doing that at all. I would even do it in terms of matchups. So I might start Okongwu or Mitchell Robinson depending on who we're playing and what kind of big they have.
It wouldn't make sense for the Knicks not to re-sign Robinson, especially if they're going to make a big push for Giannis. Because if they're going to get a guy like Giannis, they most definitely cannot pick up Mitchell Robinson's contract. Because like you said, Chase, he's going to be asking for a lot of money this offseason. If they're going to try to go after a guy like Giannis, he is definitely off the table.
Well, I don't even think it's the fact that they're going after a guy after Giannis. I think the Knicks know what he's asking for because of what he's produced the past 2 seasons, but he's also been injury riddled these past 2 seasons, and the New York Knicks can't afford the contract he's going to be asking for, but the Atlanta Hawks can if they play their cards right. Atlanta would be a perfect fit for him too. He's going into a championship contending team, and he's going to be playing a much bigger role than he is with the New York Knicks right now.
Okay, yes, but would he leave the? Okay, but yes, but would he leave the Knicks for a team that he beat in the playoffs?
I don't think he has a choice. I don't think the Knicks can afford to re-sign him.
Yeah, they have a lot of the Knicks have a lot of decisions to make. I think Chase is right. I think even if he wants to stay in New York, they're not going to give him the money that he's worth. I don't think they are. So I think it's more likely that Mitchell Robinson moves on from New York, gets his ring, and just moves elsewhere. The Atlanta Hawks.
Whoa! Don't get his ring. What you talking about?
I mean, he might get a ring. I'm not taking that out of the equation.
I'm not speaking that to existence. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
I'm not either, but you told me to be realistic here, and I got to keep it real. The Knicks are looking dangerous. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for the Hawks to acquire a guy of the likes of Mitchell Robinson. But like you said, Chase, if we play our cards right, we can't afford him. But that does mean that we're not going to see CJ McCollum or Jock Landale make a return, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, but it'd be worth the price of Mitchell Robinson.
I agree. I completely agree. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I do believe that concludes this segment of this half segment of what we got cooked up today. Now, like I said, I got a sparkle. It's not really a quiz. It's more like a trivia. Now, with that being said, because it's a trivia,
was there a prize in the line? Kind of how we did last year, where the
Ooh,
next Hawks thing, one of us has to buy like a drink or
I like
something.
it. I like it. You know what? Yeah, next time we hang out,
What about at the
uh,
draft party?
It
y'all
doesn't even
talk about.
happen because like the Hawks still haven't say anything, and the draft's a month
Surely
away.
it's going to happen. I would be shocked if we don't have one, considering we have a top 10 pick and a pick later in the round. I would be shocked.
They would have announced it by now. They announced it like May. They announced it like the night after the lottery last year.
That is true. It is a little fishy.
Yeah, so like, I don't know why they haven't like really announced it. But yeah, I honestly have no idea if we're doing one or not. But I mean, like, like we should though. I mean, but
If we did one last year, surely we would do one this year because this draft has a lot more weight than last year's draft did.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not seeing. Like, I haven't seen nothing about the draft party yet. So
Yeah.
Give me just a moment, fellas. There's a little bit of a delay.
Well,
Shoot.
I guess I can do a Thunder and Spurs update. So if
Yeah,
you're
do that. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of a pivot here.
yeah,
OKC Thunder are currently up 101 to 89 at the end of the third quarter. So
It's
the
still not over
Spurs
yet. I
are going
think
to
the
have their
Spurs will
work
come
cut
back.
out for them if they want to come back and take a 3-2 lead going back to San Antonio. It would be ideal for the Spurs to lose this game and then win game 6 back at home, and then we go back to OKC for a banging game 7. I think that's what the player wants.
Speaking of, we haven't done like a finals prediction yet. Like, who do you want to like win the West?
I want the Spurs to win, hands down.
Yeah.
I want
me
the Spurs to go all the way.
Me too. I agree. Just anyone but the Knicks.
Anyone but the Knicks. Even if the Thunder have to win back-to-back, I would rather see that than the Knicks win the finals. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's technically a Hawks championship because SGA's cousin is the Alexander Walker and Casey Wallace's brother Keaton Wallace. I mean that's family ties right there. So
I suppose.
But
this is awkward, fellas.
what?
Can you not get it pulled up or something? What's going on? Do I need to pull it up on my computer?
No. Shoot. Oh, shoot. I can do it this way? Give me one moment. I'm almost done, fellas. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got you. We will be right back whenever Chase gets this figured out. All right, fellas, I apologize for the delay. If you notice, I had to switch.
Bro, Andrew Chase is looking cute over there, bro.
No,
what
you messed
happened
it
to
up.
Chase,
You
bro?
messed it up.
You
already
looking
messed it
cute,
up.
bro.
I had to switch over to Angie's computer in order for this to work. But ladies and gentlemen, this is actually I called it.
We all switch rooms. Wait, you all switch rooms? I can't tell.
No.
I
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
you
don't
all switch rooms. I don't know what you're talking about.
He said anything about switching rooms. But fellas, I called it a Sporkle quiz. It's not really a Sporkle quiz, but guys, it is time to play a very popular game between Andrew and John. And it's what I like to call Atlanta Hawks Family Feud.
Oh.
Now, I almost shaved my head and kept my mustache so I could be like a white Steve Harvey. But I thought that would have been a little bit too extreme.
Well, if you pull your pants down, you might still be Steve Harvey. I
can give it a try. I can leave that up for the audience. But the way it's actually going to work, so it's going to be like if y'all have watched Family Feud before, right at the very end, they have like the fast money round. So there are 5 Family Feud type questions where I guess they surveyed Atlanta Hawks fans, and the answers are going to be based on what you think most Atlanta Hawks fans would say. So I'm actually going to kick y'all out one by one, and we're going to do it one at a time. I'm going to start with John, then Andrew, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to bring y'all both together, and we're going to see who got the most points. And
That's a lot of pressure, man.
And whoever wins gets the prize. Whatever that may be. Does everyone understand, or do I need to clarify the rules a little bit?
I know what you're talking about. I've watched enough Family
out
Feud.
of the stream.
Yep. So I'm gonna do, because y'all can't hear each other's answers. So I'm just gonna kick y'all out of the stream one by one.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. But like it was still. Wait a minute. Like we're still in the studio. We can still hear each other now.
Wait. Let's test it. John, can you hear us? Can John hear us?
I don't know. Bring him back in and ask.
I can't.
Oh, he can't hear us. I see your point. Wait a minute. John, can you hear us now?
Tris, I can't hear you.
Oh, shoot. I thought maybe muting him would work. Okay. You might have to. So what I'm going to do is, Andrew, I'm going to start with you. Okay, yeah. So Andrew left the meeting. So Andrew's gone. And then when it's Andrew's turn, John, you're going to lead the meeting. I'm just going to text you when you can come back.
Okay.
That would be the simplest way to do it. So, John, you're our first contestant.
Okay.
Well, can you still see me? Like, can you see me?
Yes.
Right now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So we're going to go with question number 1. Now, there are, let's see. So, yeah, there are, these answers they look like, they're based on recent Hawks history. So they're not like historic questions. They're recent history.
Okay.
All right. And it's just like Family Feud. There's 6 questions on the board. You get 3 strikes. If you can't get one of the answers in 3 strikes, then we're going to move on to the next question. But I wouldn't imagine that would be an issue. So we're going to go ahead and hop into question number 1. And I'm keeping a tally right here on y'all's points. That way I'll keep up who has the most points. Okay. Question number 1, John. This is based on last year. So this previous season. Based on this previous season, I don't know who did the survey. Someone did the survey. But they surveyed Atlanta Hawks fans, and they wanted to ask them that after an Atlanta Hawks lost, who was their first person to blame after a bad loss? What do you think the top answer was? After a bad loss, who was the first person that most Atlanta Hawks fans blamed?
I mean, it's got to be Quinn Snyder.
John, Quinn Snyder. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta make sure Andrew can't hear me. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. All right, John. Okay. Quinn Snyder was the number 1 answer for 32 points.
I mean, like that's just based on like Hawks Twitter. Everyone's saying fire Quinn. Like, like who else could you really blame? Because like half the team is like injured half the time, and you can't really blame injuries. So it's got to be Quinn.
At the end of the quiz, when we go through the questions, I'll let you know what the other answers were. But Quinn Snyder was the number 1 answer, so you're off to a banging start.
Okay.
All right. Answer number 2. This is a very interesting one. Name a former Hawk that fans wish got more time or development in Atlanta.
And like I can name like anyone, and there's like based off points or.
No, it's just they asked Atlanta Hawks fans to name a former Hawk player that they wish had more time and development in Atlanta.
Okay, that's easy. Cam Reddish for me. Cam Reddish.
John, Cam Reddish was the number one answer.
Dang!
30 points. John is. I mean, look, yeah. I mean, if you're an Atlanta Hawks fan, these are probably going to be your similar questions.
Bro, I love Cam Reddish, bro. I love him
Dude,
so much, bro.
I will never forget his game against the Miami Heat, his 30-point game where he had the game-winning steal, dude. Cam Reddish could have been something special, dude.
100%. 100%.
All right, question number 3. What is the biggest thing that the Hawks fans think the team is missing right now? So what's a key piece that the Atlanta Hawks fans think that the team is missing right now?
Oh, this could really be anything, honestly. Is this based off last season? You said
This is like right now, like at this current moment.
Yeah.
What's the big piece that the Atlanta Hawks are missing right now? I don't know when this survey was conducted, but based on the answers, I would have to say it's talking about right now because the answers make sense for right now.
I would say a 7-footer big man.
John, a rim protector and a true center is the number one answer for 34 points. John, you are cooking right now.
Was that good? And is that good? Because I said 7-footer. I said 7-footer.
I mean, the number one answer was a true center / rim protector. So I assume that, I would put
That's what I meant, honestly. I just couldn't put the words together.
I would put a 7-footer in there with you. Okay. Now this one's going to be a little difficult.
Okay.
Now, it says name a player that Hawks fans would overreact the most to if Atlanta traded for them this offseason. Now, it says traded for them, even though some of the players on this list are free agents. But it says name a player that Hawks fans would overreact the most to if the Atlanta Hawks got them this offseason.
So it isn't a Hawks player. There's just any player, like someone to overreact to.
Don't think about trading because it says trading in the question, but some of these answers are free agents. So just think about a player that Hawks fans would overreact the most to if the Hawks went out and got them this free agency or this offseason.
I mean, there's two ways of overreacting there, though. You can overreact in like a bad way or a good way. You can say oh, this dude's gonna bring us to the finals, or you can say, oh, why we sign this dude's trash.
Based on the answers, I would imagine they're overreacting in a good way. Like the city of Atlanta would probably be burned to the ground.
Okay.
Because all the players on the list that I'm seeing, me personally, I would be ecstatic if we got any one of these players.
And this is free agency, not trade. Free agency.
Or both. Some of these players we would have to trade for. Some of these players are free agents.
I'm just gonna randomly say this just because I saw this on Twitter a few times. Kyrie Irving.
That is strike one. Kyrie Irving is not on the board.
Okay.
All right. You get 3 strikes per question. So that's strike number 1.
Okay. Shoot. Okay, but he's not a free agent, so that was a trade. That'd be a trade.
Yep. Or it could be a free. Some of these are free agents. Some of these are trades. So think both.
Draymond Green.
That's strike number 2. Draymond Green is not on the board.
Kidding me?
There are 2 players on this list. I'm surprised you haven't named yet.
No way. I'm not gonna say it.
Come on, John. You got it.
No way, LeBron, right?
That is strike number 3. LeBron James is not on the board. So you get no points for that question. Okay. But you've gotten the number 1 answer for the first 3 questions, so you're still sitting pretty. Okay. Final question. Name a random former Hawks player that real Atlanta Hawks fans consider a legend. And I'll give you based on the answers, I'll give you a time frame. Think of like early 2010s up until now.
Okay,
name,
so you know who I'm gonna say though. You know
name
exactly
a
what I'm gonna
player
say.
that real Hawks fans consider an Atlanta Hawk legend.
You know who I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with my guy Kyle Korver.
John, good answer, but surprisingly, Kyle Korver was only third on the board.
What?
For 18 points. I know that would have been my number one answer. I gotta say, I do like the number one answer, but I'm a little shocked he's the number one answer. But Kyle Korver is number 3.
I guess I can't know until you're done with Andrew.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I will
Text him and then I'll leave.
I'm gonna give you what your point total is. So, John, you finished with a whopping 114 points. So you're sitting pretty.
I'll take it.
All right, John. I'm going to ask you to leave the meeting, and I'm going to go bring in Andrew. Well done, my good sir.
All right, just text me when you're done.
Will do. All right, fellas. So now it's time for Andrew Jefferson. Andrew, I'm going to put some pressure on you. John cooked here. I'm not going to lie. John cooked, and his point total is going to be pretty hard to beat.
I'd rather go last, so I don't know. I figured that this is what I was afraid of, that John was going to do really good, and then I'm just going to be in a lot of pressure here. Yeah. But I got to lock in. Just got to lock in.
I'll tell you the same thing I told John. There are 6 answers on the board. You get 3 strikes per question. So if you name 3 players that aren't on the board, then you get 3 strikes and you get 0 points for that question. Okay. And there's 6 answers per question. And this is like recent history. Like this is relevant now. Like this is like current time. I have no idea who conducted the survey. There wasn't a date on it, but based on the answers, I can tell you it's relevant to now.
Okay.
So you don't have to think deep in history.
Gotcha. Good to know. Good to know.
Ready for
I'm ready. I'm locked in.
Andrew, based on this past season, the season that just happened, they surveyed Atlanta Hawks fans and asked them, who was the first person you blamed after a bad loss this past season? Who was the first person that most Atlanta Hawks fans blamed?
The first person that most Hawks fans blamed?
This is based on the season that just happened.
Gosh. Can't be Zachary because he didn't get enough playing time to get blamed.
Is that your answer?
No, I'm just brainstorming. Not Jalen. Jalen should never be blamed. I'm going to say Onyeka Okongwu.
Let's see. Andrew, that's strike number 1. Onyeka Okongwu is not on the board.
Not surprising. What about the bench? Is the bench a viable option here?
The bench is a liable option, and that's number 3 on the board for 16 points. The bench / unit rotations was the number 3 answer.
Can I hear the number 1 answer since 3 is already locked in?
I'm going to tell you and John both when I get y'all in together and announce who won.
I can't imagine what the number 1 option would have been. Maybe Quinn Snyder, but I can't imagine.
I will tell you.
I should have gone Quinn Snyder. I bet you Quinn Snyder's probably number 2 or something.
I'm not even gonna tell you. Yeah, I'm gonna leave everything to the end.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think I like my answer better than Quinn Snyder, but it wouldn't make sense to just blame the coach.
I love this question a lot, and I feel like you and John are gonna have the same answer here.
Okay.
Name a former Hawk that fans wish got more time in development in Atlanta.
More time in development? Sharif Cooper an option? I don't know if that's probably not. That's not my answer.
Is that your answer?
I mean, for me personally, sure, why not Sharif Cooper? Why are you laughing like that, bro? You're making me nervous.
Sharif Cooper's on the board for the number 6 answer for 5 points.
I was just going based on how I felt.
Hey, Sharif Cooper's on the board. He was the number 6 answer on the board.
Man, I shouldn't have solidified that as my answer.
Andrew, you are not cooking. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Compare, but there's plenty. Andrew, trust me, there's plenty of time to come back here.
Lord have mercy.
All right, question number 3. This is as of right now, like we're talking about right now. What is the biggest thing that Hawks fans think the team is missing right now? What's the biggest piece that Hawks fans think the team is missing right now?
Big man.
A rim protector / true center is the number 1 answer for 34 points.
That was easy. That was easy.
Which
We
is
just
pretty
talked
obvious.
about it for like 30 minutes.
All right. Now I'm going to be honest here. This next question right here, John struck out on. He got 3 strikes on, which I'm
This is big. This is a big moment
surprised.
for me. This is a big moment for me. I'm happy to hear that.
This is an interesting question, and the question's a little confusing, so I kind of reiterate it for John. I'm going to do the same for you.
Appreciate it.
Name a player that Hawks fans would overreact the most to if Atlanta acquired them this offseason. Now, this could be trade or a free agency, because there's some players on here that we'd have to trade for. There's some players that we could require through free agency. And when it says overreact, it's talking about overreact in a good way, like the city of Atlanta would be burned to the ground in a good way if the Atlanta Hawks got them this offseason. So this is a good thing. This is a good overreaction, not a bad overreaction. So name a player.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown? I am so shocked John did not say Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's the number 1 answer for 38 points.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to say I'm shocked that it's not on there. I feel like that was a layup because of how much noise Jaylen Brown has surfaced in Atlanta offseason rumors. But okay, that's big for me.
I did like John's answer, but he was definitely overthinking it way too much. But yeah, Jaylen Brown's the number 1 answer. All right, now I love this question. This is a banging question. I feel like you and John's going to have the same answer here as well.
You said that about question 2, and apparently not.
You went for a little bit of a reach, which I agree with you. I'm completely on board Sharif Cooper.
That's just the first one that came up to my mind. Maybe Kobe Buffkin would have been a better answer.
When you hear John's answer, John's answer would have been my answer too, and you would have been like, oh yeah, like 100%.
Probably.
Name a random former Hawks player that real Atlanta Hawks fans consider an Atlanta legend. Now I'm going to give you a time frame here. Think early 2010s up until now.
Al Horford.
Strike number 1. Al Horford is not on the board.
Wow. Jamal Crawford?
Andrew, Jamal Crawford's not on the board. That's strike number 2.
Serious?
Think about former Hawks that Hawks fans consider an Atlanta legend. I am so shocked you've not named this player yet.
Kyle Korver.
Thank you. Now, that's the same person John said, and to my surprise, he's only number 3 on the board for 18 points. Now,
I probably Paul Millsap or Joe Johnson might be number 1.
I truly love the number 1 answer. I'm a little shocked he's the number 1 answer, but I can agree with it.
Josh Smith, maybe?
I'm going to tally up your points before I bring John in. I went ahead and let John know what his final score was. And
I feel like me getting Jaylen Brown on the question that John struck out was huge.
Andrew?
Was like a 1-point difference.
It's so freaking close. I'm gonna let you know you finish with 111 points. And Andrew, it is freaking close. All right. I'm gonna go pause it real quick. I'm gonna bring John back in. All right. We are back with the final results. Now, John, I just told Andrew this. It is freaking close. Really? I'll tell you right now, the winner won by 3 points.
Wow. Whoa.
That's how close it was.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to reveal each other's answers one by one. I'll let y'all know what y'all got.
Okay.
All right. So the first question, to reiterate, the first question was, name the first person Hawks fans blamed after a bad loss last year. John, you said Quinn Snyder. Andrew said the bench. Quinn Snyder was the number 1 answer.
I knew it. I
And
freaking knew it.
the
You should,
bench.
you should get on Twitter, Andrew.
Now,
that's how I know. I keep seeing Hawks fans saying fire Quinn, fire Quinn,
See,
fire
the
Quinn.
reason why I didn't go Quinn Snyder because I felt like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the bench was better. But then
No.
as soon as I said the bench, I told Chase I should have went with Quinn Snyder.
Now the bench was the number 3 answer.
Really?
The number 2 answer was Trae Young, which is a little odd because he only played like half the season, but he
That's
was the number
stupid.
2.
He played like what, less than 10 games for us?
Yeah.
Maybe 10 exactly.
How can you blame a guy that's not playing? That's stupid.
Now, the number 4 answer was the front office, and the number 5 answer was kind of same thing, Onse Sela, and the number 6 answer was referees.
Wow.
Okay, I could sort of see honestly Sela being in there because because like he sort of has made maybe a few questionable decisions, but I mean like it's his first season. It's his first season as a GM. Right?
I like what Auntie Sale's been
Right? Yeah.
been doing personally.
Me too. But yeah, me too. But I mean, like,
all right. Now we'll talk about everything at the end. I'll go ahead and get through all the questions and answers, and then we'll have a big discussion at the end.
Thunder about to go up 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, question number 2 was, name a former Hawk that Hawks fans still wish got more time or development in Atlanta. John said Cam Reddish. Andrew said Sharif Cooper. Cam Reddish was the number 1 answer.
God damn it, man.
You said Sharif.
I was the first one that came to my head.
Hey,
he was a second rounder.
He was good in the G League.
Hang on, I have to defend Andrew here. I completely agree with Sharif Cooper only because Sharif Cooper was averaging like 30 points a game in College Park. But the reason we got rid of Sharif Cooper was because he was a locker room cancer. But Sharif Cooper was on the board for the number 6 answer, though.
I'm cooked.
The other question, the other ones, the number 2 answer was Kevin Huerter. The number 3 answer was AJ Griffin.
That's a good one.
This doesn't make any sense. The number 4 answer was Aneke Kongwu, and the number 5 answer was Jalen Johnson. They're still on the team, so that makes no sense.
What?
That makes no sense at all.
I don't know what kind of
Hawks out of here.
I almost said Griffin though, but I mean, my heart just went straight to Cam Reddish. I love Cam, man. I love Cam Reddish.
Yeah,
I told John the same thing. Cam Reddish would have been my answer too.
Yeah, Cam Reddish was good, man.
Yeah.
The number 3 question was, what is the biggest thing Hawks fans think the team is missing right now? Y'all both said a big man, which of course was the number 1 answer.
I thought that one was too obvious.
The number 2 answer was a second superstar next to Trae Young. So this question was probably asked before Trae Young was traded. The third,
I almost said like a certified like star because I didn't because like Jalen Johnson he just now set his mark as a Hawks like star player.
Yeah,
I almost said like another starter to
I would have
like a true like star caliber player like a Durant or a LeBron James or something like that. I almost said that too, but
I would have fit that. If you would have said that, I would have fit that in that category. The third answer I completely agree with too was consistent perimeter defense because our perimeter defense was booty cheeks. The number 4 answer was reliable point guard depth. The number 5 answer was toughness / physicality. And the number 6 answer was better ownership, which I do not agree with at all.
Why does everyone hate on Onzi, man? Give him some time.
I'm saying, dog.
It's his first season. It's the first season as a GM.
Now, The number 4 question was, name a player that Hawks fans would overreact the most to if Atlanta traded for them this offseason. Now, John actually struck out on this answer. The number 1 answer was Jaylen Brown, which Andrew got. Andrew said Jaylen Brown, which was the number 1 answer.
That's big for me. That's big for me.
I didn't want to buy into. I don't want to buy into that trade. Honestly, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't.
I love Jaylen Brown, dude. I would cream for Jaylen Brown.
The number 2 answer was Giannis Antetokounmpo. The number 3 answer was Kevin Durant. Number 4 was who Andrew talked about today, Naz Reid. Number 5 was Mikal Bridges, and number 6 was Brandon Ingram.
I would have said Naz Reid, but I didn't think he was going to be on that board, to be honest with you. I'm actually surprised he was on that board. I thought I was the only one that was really thinking that.
You're not the only one who has that idea, Andrew. Now, this is where it came down to all the marbles right here. The number 5 answer was name a random Atlanta Hawk player random former Hawks player that real Atlanta Hawks fans consider an Atlanta legend.
I almost struck out on this one, surprisingly.
Andrew started 0 for 2. He almost struck out on this one.
Okay.
But on the third one, he finally agreed with you, John. He said Kyle Korver as well, and which was number 3 on the board. Now, number 1 is a little surprising, but I do agree with.
I'm going to say Josh Smith.
The number 1 answer was playoff Lou Williams.
Okay.
Number 2,
playoff Lou,
or it's Lou Williams. I just call him playoff Lou.
Okay.
Number 1 was Lou Williams. Number 2 was Josh Smith.
I almost said Josh Smith, but I didn't.
Number 4 was Paul Millsap. Number 5 was Jeff Teague, and number 6 was Kent Bazemore.
Nice.
All right. Here is the final tally.
I feel like John won because of the first 2 questions.
The winner by 3 points and will get my reward was Mr. John Howley with John
Howley.
Whoa. Okay.
Shout out. I didn't know John was playing. I didn't know John Howley was playing.
John is the best name of all time.
Hey, my bad. John Howley's another guy we know from college. Wrong John. I'm so sorry. John Joyner, excuse me, with 114 points. Andrew finished with 111. Yeah, I feel like John really cooked you on those first 2 questions. But you did come up clutch with that 4th question. Yeah. But I think those first 2 questions definitely gave John the edge there.
If I didn't say Sharif Cooper, I would have been okay. I that's just where my heart went first, because I always wish we could have seen what Sharif Cooper would have done at the NBA level. But
I'm surprised Kobe Buffkin wasn't on the list.
That's who I was going to say. I was going to say Kobe.
Player I think could have turned into a really good bench piece.
I was going to say Kobe Buffkin if Sharif Cooper wasn't on the board.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that does include our family feud round. Before we conclude, does anyone have any closing remarks or anything?
Yeah, what's my reward?
Oh yeah, John's reward. I would say
I had to get off the stream so you and John can put y'all's lips on the camera for a minute.
I'm gonna give John 2 rewards here.
Oh,
number 1,
one for each nipple.
I don't even know what you said. What did you say?
I said 1 for each nipple.
Hey, I'm gonna say that whenever we hang out, I owe John a free something, whether it's a free drink, a free food, or something.
I'm heavy. I'll take whatever.
And then number 2, I'm gonna be his personal wheelchair for one day.
Nice. That's gonna be the day that John forgets to wear clothes.
Hey,
screw Chase free. I'm gonna get the free drink. That's all I want. It's a personal wheelchair.
All you gotta say is you better take the wheelchair to the shower with you.
Oh, I will. I will.
Hey.
There's wheelchair.
We can't ever end an episode normal.
Yeah, man. Andrew, this was fun. This is actually very fun. But yeah.
I was scrolling through Sporkle quizzes and I came across an Atlanta Hawks Family Feud thing. I was like, dude, I got to do this. This would.
That was pretty fun.
W idea.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for moving forward, we'll kind of cook up with some more off-season content for you. Now that would be the off-season content will get more juicy once the draft happens and once free agency rolls around.
We got about a month for that.
Yeah, so for the time being, we'll come up with fun ideas. We might do some more quizzes or challenges. We'll come up with more off-season talk. Well, no matter what, we'll come up with some juicy content for y'all. Don't y'all worry.
Sure.
But with that being said, for myself, John, and Andrew, we will see you in the next episode.
You got into Chase. You got the job now.
I'm used to you doing, Andrew. My bad.
Yeah.